When it comes to what's happening in Wayne County and the North Carolina area, look no further than Taylor House Publishing. If you have a story that needs to be told, please contact us via email at taylorhousepublishing@gmail.com.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Taylor House Publishing. The woman that you are about to hear speak is Miss Kolanda Wooten. Miss Kolanda Wooten was sentenced to natural life in prison at the age of 17. And after serving 20 years, she was released after laws changed and people fought on her behalf. So what you're going to hear is her story about, how she got the sentence, her time in prison, and how she overcame, and also her faith. So I'm going to let her tell the story, but then I'll come back with a little more commentary at the end. Here she is.
But I went to prison in 2005. I was charged with felony first-degree murder, which means that it wasn't premeditated, but you still received a life sentence behind the crime. I was not the trigger person, but once again, they didn't care. So in 2003, I had no idea my life would change forever. I had it all planned out. I had graduated early and was enrolled at Wayne Community College in early childhood education to become an elementary school teacher. I was on my way, or so I thought. Take a moment to think about where you were at the age of 17, who you were, your plans for the future, the things that you wanted to accomplish, who you wanted to be, where you saw yourself 5 years from the age of 17. You're on the brink of adulthood, probably in love with your first love, thinking you would marry them and live happily ever after because you felt like you couldn't live without them. I had one of those too. We had plans to get married, have about 2 kids, grow old together. But little did I know, all of my plans would be cut short in the matter of a few seconds, in the blink of an eye. That's all it takes. In your whole future, everything that you work hard for, everything that you plan for, can be taken away from you. I had no idea that I would be charged for a crime that I didn't commit. That they would throw me away in the judicial system, and basically, I will be buried alive. That's what it's like. When you're in there, and you're thinking, and you're fantasizing, and you're dreaming about everything that you've lost, and you know that there's no way out. Nobody can come get you. Nobody can open up the gate and tell you, hey, you're free to go. That's not the way it works. So in my mind, at the age of 19, when I arrived in prison, that was it. That was all. There was nothing left. I was going to die in prison. I went to the county jail where I would spend the next 18 months without fresh air or without sunlight. Can you imagine not going outside, not getting fresh air, right? Not getting sunlight for 18 months? I was placed in an environment where I had to learn how to adjust because I wasn't used to being around these type of people. We had lived in Green Acres, courtyard, the jungle, for maybe about 2 years, but even being out there, like, I just went home and went to school. It wasn't any hanging out because that life was not for me. I'm a country girl, I grew up in the country, I like peace and quiet. But at the same time, being incarcerated like that and not knowing what would happen, I became angry and bitter and mean. But being angry and bitter and mean was kind of like a coping mechanism. It was like if I'm angry and I act like I'm mean, then maybe nobody won't talk to me here. Maybe nobody won't bother me because I really didn't know what to do. And it was at that time that my pastor came to see me, and he sent one of the mothers of the church to see me. And she began I began to build a foundation to stand on. Now, I'm not telling y'all I was perfect, but I was getting there. I was building something to stand on, to not be so angry and bitter, and to learn how to deal with what I was facing. So at the age of 19 in April of 2005, that's when they found me guilty, and I was taken to prison to spend the rest of my life. And I will keep reiterating that, because it's not just you're going to do 8 months, 5 months, 10 months. This is it. This is your end. When you leave out of there, it'll be in a box. That's how your family will receive you. So I can remember, actually, me and Miss Linda went to the library, I think it was Tuesday, and it was a CO in there. She was the same CO that had walked me down, put me on the elevator, took me down to the van to go to prison. And I can remember standing in that elevator with her, and she said, "You hold your head up. This is not the end for you. God is going to work this out." Now, at the time, y'all, I couldn't see that. But over the years, I would think about her. It was like God was saying, don't forget what I said. Even through letters and cards and phone calls from the people I loved and the people that loved me, honestly, which weren't many, because when you go in there, people forget about you. They cast you off to the side. They act like you don't exist anymore. You don't have any friends. The only people you have is your family, because those are the only people that are going to show up for you. It was my blood. And then it was those people that aren't my blood that became my blood, that showed up for me and stood in the gap and prayed for me. So now, I'm in prison. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to deal with it. They take you to solitary confinement, and I spent about 45 days up there, and they call that long-term adjustment. It's not long-term adjustment. Being in a cell by yourself and you come into this new place and you don't know what to expect, it was like I was going crazy. But I thank God that I had people praying for me. That's not adjustment. You don't need to be by yourself, because that can make you suicidal. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm 19, I haven't lived, I haven't done anything. And here I am in the cell by myself, about to lose my mind. And it was this nurse, and he would always come through there. I think he was African. And he would always ask me if I was okay. And I was like, "Get away from my door. What you want?" I'm crying, screaming, looking crazy. I probably look deranged, y'all. But it's okay. He would ask me every single day, and he would give me a scripture. And I do know that that's part of what kept me. Even though I act like I wasn't paying attention, I was paying attention. Yeah. There are so many people in prison just like me, wrongly accused, falsely accused. The time doesn't fit the crime. They get excessive amounts of time. Me and Miss Barber can go out and commit the same crime, and she can get a lesser amount of time than I can. And I just to be blunt and to be honest, because of the color of her skin. There are more people of African American descent incarcerated than any other culture in the United States of America. The United States of America is basically the only country that hands out life sentences, and they lead with a rate of 83%. No other country hands out life sentences. In my mind, there were so many things that I would never, ever, ever get to do. I would never get to go out with my friends. I would never get to get married. I would never get to have any children. I would never be a teacher. I wouldn't be around my family. The only way they would see me is coming to visit. I wouldn't get to go to any family functions. I wouldn't get to see my nieces and nephews graduate and reach milestones. I wouldn't get to see any of that in the right room. And that's hard to deal with. They feed you food that's not even edible. You can't even identify what it is. It looks worse than baby food. And they might feed it to you today, tomorrow, and the day after that. You even get tired of eating the same canteen because nothing changes. You get the exact same meal every single week. Every week. It never changes. So just imagine in your mind eating the same food, whether it's out of the dining hall or whether it's from canteen, for 20 years. Out here you have so many options. You can go out to eat wherever you want to eat. You can go to the store, buy whatever you want to buy and fix it. You don't have that option in there. You're going to eat what they give you, or you won't eat nothing at all. And you better hope that somebody sends you money, because not everybody has somebody to send them money. So, mental health. In prison, mental health is real. It's very real. It's real out here. People don't give it as much attention as they should, or they want you to sweep stuff under the rug. But mental health is real. When you're shut up in a cage and there's constant yelling, screaming, singing all day, every day, 24 hours a day, there is never any quiet. And all you hear is doors slamming, people kicking the doors, singing, all at the top of their lungs, y'all. I'm telling you, all night long.
Don't forget the COs.
Yes, all night long, like lunatics. And you're trying to find some peace of mind, and you don't have anywhere to go because you're trapped. I thank God for the people that showed up for me, the people that prayed for me, the people that encouraged me and gave me scripture and showed me love. And we also have Chaplain Gregory back here, the best chaplain in the world. He was a chaplain when I was at NCCIW. And the first thing I remember about him is the girls wanted me to sing in the choir, and I didn't want to sing in the choir. And so they had put a request for me in, and he called me up there. And I'm nervous, I'm really shy. And he's like, just calm down. You know, like his voice is just so soothing. He's like, just shut the door and just sing a song for me. And it was one of those moments where I knew I would be okay. That love, that compassion that he gave, it was one of those moments I knew I would be okay. I didn't always have good days. I didn't always feel like I was going to be okay. Sometimes I felt like I was going to literally lose my mind. Me and my sister, we would go out, we would walk laps, we would pray, we would talk about God, went to Bible study, every church service we could get in, singing in the choir, and even that was aggravating sometimes. But we did it anyway, because there's always peace with following God. There's always peace with listening to God. There's always peace in doing what God wants you to do. So, the laws will start to change for juvenile. And that began to give me a little bit of hope. In 2012, the one that really catapulted the move to remove juvenile life sentences was led by Brian Stevenson, the author of Just Mercy. So it went before the courts, and they decided that you can no longer sentence a juvenile to life without the possibility of parole. Of course, there was going to be some backlash, some fighting back, And they wanted to know, did it apply to people who were sentenced before the law became active? So we had to wait 4 years until 2016 to see if the law would be retroactive. And the court ruled in the favor of it being retroactive. So now in my mind, I'm like, okay, I might not walk out immediately, but I have an opportunity after 25 years to fight my case, to plead my case, and maybe get a second chance at life. And this is what people have been telling me the whole time. Kolanda, I don't know what's different about you. You don't belong here. This is not where you're supposed to be. Just hold on. I'm telling you, God is going to do something for you. And some days, that was not easy to believe. In spite of that, I kept on standing on the foundation. I kept on standing on the Word of God. In 22, my brother told me to write the NAACP here in Wooten County. And my first reaction was, you people ain't gonna do that for me. I'm not writing them. I'm not even wasting my time. But I got in touch with Miss Sylvia Barnes, and she got in touch with some people. And at the same time, the mother of my church had told Miss Linda about me. And so she was getting the ball rolling. And I looked at that as God. I know God was setting it up. But at that point, I had been in there so long, y'all. I was so frustrated. I was so ready to go. I wasn't trying to hear none of it. I stayed in my cell. I didn't want to bother. I didn't want nobody talking to me. In my mind some days, all I could think was, here I am, 37 years old. I done missed out on going to college. I done missed out on going to friends' weddings. I done missed out on having my own wedding. I done missed out on having kids. I done missed out on everything. Going to the club. Not that I actually think I would have wanted to go to the club. But, you know, all of those things that you do, just because you can. Go buy me something to drink, because I turned 21. Y'all know. And I thought about all of those things. And God, how much longer am I going to have to stay in here? How much longer is this going to last? I can't do this no more. Just let me die in my sleep. I don't even want to wake up tomorrow. I wish I would have made a different decision. I wish I would have just stayed in my bed. I wish that was the case. But it wasn't. And God, I know this is not without a purpose. I know you got a plan behind all of this because I met so many good people while I was incarcerated. And not to, be bragging or anything, but I know that I touched their lives because I keep in contact with them to this day. They can text me, they can call my phone. I have not forgotten where I come from. I have not forgotten what it's like. I don't forget that everybody will not be as fortunate as I am to walk out from behind that wall. I've seen people drop dead 2 months away from going home because the medical care is awful. Awful. You gotta be out dead for them to really pay attention to you. I've seen people 2 years from going home die. They're making all of these plans. Everybody will not get the opportunity that I got. Something has to change. I don't know what to do to catapult that change, but I'm willing to get on board with whatever. Because the judicial system is out of control. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. And I say that to say that no matter how old you are, from this 3-year-old right here to, okay, I ain't calling nobody else's age. But I say that to say that it can happen to you. It can happen to you. It can happen to the people you love. It can happen to your children. It can happen to your nieces, your nephews. So talk to them. Let them know what it's like. Be careful about the friends that you choose. I wasn't even with friends, I was with family. That could be the end of everything that you know, everything that you hope for, everything that you dream of, everything that you want to do, everything that you work so hard for. And everybody in this room is too smart, and y'all have too much to do to end up behind the walls. It's so easy. They charged me because of the law within the law, acting in concert. Had you never taken him over there, this person would have never lost their life. But does it make it right to sentence me to first-degree felony murder? Does it make it right to sentence me to die behind bars? It doesn't make it right. But somebody has to stand for the change. Somebody has to reach our children, because they don't care. They want to throw us away, ain't it right, Hannah? They want to throw us away. They want us behind bars. And once you get back there, it's tougher to get out. They throw you in there like, boom, that's it, but you got to fight and fight and fight. You got to stay determined. You can't give up. So choose your friends wisely. Choose the people that you choose to be around wisely. Know what they're doing. Know what your kids are doing. I don't care if they don't want you in their business. Know what they're doing. Know where they at. Know who they're with. Because you don't want it to be them. You don't want it to be you. You don't want to have to fight for your life. Because that's what I had to do. Fight for my life. Fortunately, Ms. Barnes was able to get Philip Adore and Aries Branston to work on my case. At this time, Governor Cooper had already passed Executive Order 208 that made it possible for juveniles who served 20 years to go in front of a 4-person committee to see if you could get a commutation. And so that's what they did. They began to work on my commutation. And it took a little while. But in the process, I gained some support. I gained some encouragement. I gained some more people that had my back. And that made me continue to have hope. It made me continue to press forward. It made me wake up every day and say, Kolanda, you can't give up, because somebody is out here fighting for you. Somebody is out here putting their life on the line, tirelessly working to get you out of here. And the first time we turned it in, the paperwork was wrong. So we had to go back and do it again. And I was so frustrated. And I can remember calling my mom and saying, I'm about to lose my mind. I can't believe this happened. I'm so tired. And she said, just hold on a little while longer, and this will all be over. Just hold on and keep trusting God. And the letters kept coming, the phone calls. Thank God for people that answer the phone, y'all. Because everybody don't answer their phone for you. Everybody does not want to be bothered with you. They could care less about you having a bad day in there. They don't understand. They don't get it. You will never fully understand it. I can tell you about it all day, but you won't understand it until you live it. If you have never lived it, then you won't really understand. And you don't want to live it. You don't want to live it. And so in December of 2022, I received a text from Aries, and she said, call me. And I said, well, I'm going to call her, but this is probably the same message being with Lauren. They just going to tell me to hold on, make it through the holidays. Maybe we'll hear something then. So I called her, and she said, what you doing? I said, I'm laying down reading a book. What do you want? She said, well, I got some good news. You want some good news? I'm still thinking she's going to tell me to hold on. We don't hear something. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you're going home. Y'all, that was the best feeling in the world. It was like every daydream, every fantasy, every thought that I had about what would I do if I got out. It was possible. And I went crazy, y'all. I was crying, I was screaming, everybody in the block was crying and screaming, saying if anybody deserves this, come on, it's you. And I'm glad that I could be an example. I'm glad that I could be kind to people. I'm glad that I could be an encouragement to people, even where I was. No matter where you are in life, encourage people. Give them a kind word, because you never know what they're going through. You never know what they're dealing with. And they could go out there and do something stupid because of some type of way they feel it, and end up in the place that I was. The officers were screaming. Everybody was going crazy. And finally somebody said, well, when are you going home? I was like, I don't know. So I'm like, when am I going home? When am I going home? And she's crying. She's like, January. I'm like, January, stop! And I'm going crazy, y'all, because I can't believe it. But God did it. God did it. Yes, he used people. Yes, he placed people in order. He lined them up. He got them to say yes to what he wanted them to do, but God did it. He did the impossible. He worked a miracle. He moved a mountain for me. And I will never, ever, ever forget it. Sometimes I wake up and I still can't believe I'm home. And it's still an adjustment. It might not be any prison residue on the outside, but it's some on the inside. There are things that I have to deal with every day that are hard. There are things that I have to adjust to. And sometimes people will forget that I spent 20 years in prison. I'm like, hold up, wait now. What you talking about? Don't talk to me like that. Don't play like I'm stupid now. But it's not that, I'm just crazy. It's just that I don't know. These are things that I missed out on. Technology. Things changing, the world looking different. I missed out on all of this, so I have to come out here and adjust to that. You a picky eater. I'm not a picky eater. I ate the same thing for 20 years. I don't want to eat the same thing for 2 days in a row. Matter of fact, I don't want to eat it for one day, the same for breakfast, lunch, or dinner again. No. It's an adjustment. And I thank God for the people that he's placed in my life that'll say, are you okay? What's wrong? You want to talk about it? For people that will answer the phone, and I can cry to them, because I don't cry to everybody, but I can cry to them and say I'm having a hard day. Or I don't even have to say anything, but they give me a shoulder to lean on. I thank God for sending me more people to love on me and to support me. I thank God for that. I thank God for that. So if you ever find yourself in a situation like the one I was in, just lean on God. Because he will take you through it. He will give you the strength. He will make a way. Because he's faithful. He's faithful. It's not a joke. It's not a game. I know these kids out here think they hard. They think that's where they want to be. Until they find out what it's like to be laying in that cell at night with tears rolling across your face because you want to go home. And you can't go home. And you want your family. And you can't be around your family. And you need that love and support from your family. And you can't get them on the phone because they out living their life. They don't stop living just because you got locked up. I'm not saying that they don't love you, but they got other stuff to do besides sit around and wait on you to call them all day. These are the things that these kids need to know. Why they're out here thinking they hard because they got a pistol in their hand. Because at the end of the day, when you're behind that wall, it's not the reality. You're not hard no more. Every bit of toughness they thought they had, I promise you, it will fall off on them. So y'all tell them, be real with them. Let them know. It's not what they want. It's not what they want to do. It's not a situation that they want to find themselves in. And I thank y'all for coming and showing up and supporting me today. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you have just witnessed or been experienced to a little bit of the testimony. And I ain't gonna hold you up. Every time I hear certain parts of a testimony, I have to fight back a little teardrop here and there. And if you know me, it's very, very hard to, exhibit that emotional response from me. But nevertheless, I think that is a very, every time that, I talk to her or, just realize that what she's been through 20 years, never thinking you're getting out. And then all of a sudden to be out and be in the world today is just phenomenal. And like I said in the first interview, it doesn't, if you don't know, she don't tell you the story, you'll never know that she had to go through that. So hopefully I'm going to get her on an exclusive interview soon so we can really get in depth about her state, some of the things that she had to deal with. But there you just heard a little outline, a little blueprint of what I'm going to be bringing you with her. May even do a documentary on the whole story. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that story inspired somebody. I hope that story gave somebody some inspiration, to value every moment in time of their life. Because a lot of times we are out here in the free world and we think that, things are so bad, but, there's a lot of people suffering inside those walls. Some innocent, some guilty, but some, are languishing under, very unfair sentences. So fortunately, I commend Ms. Wooten for being able to share her story, and hopefully we'll be able to get a more in-depth exclusive interview with her. But you can go back, I think a few months back, when I first met her, we did a exclusive interview. Then she didn't get too in detail, but hopefully we'll be able to get her more. I want to hear more about, the state, the daily life inside of a women's prison. So y'all stay tuned. 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings.